All right, today I've got with me Michelle Lee Myrter. Michelle, how are you doing today?
I am fantastic, Andrew. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, awesome. I'm looking forward to this one. Michelle works in the sales world. She helps people with that, and we're going to dig in a little bit more as to who she is, what she does, why she does it, all kinds of good stuff. So, look forward to chatting through this with you today. To set the stage for this, I'm going to ask you, Michelle, to give your best 60-second or less elevator pitch. Given what you do for a living, I anticipate you're going to be able to do this without too much trouble. So, whenever you're ready, you've got the stage.
All right. One of the biggest problems entrepreneurs, sales professionals, and business owners have is that they turn off 75% of the people they talk to. They don't know who their audience is. So I give people the tools, the training, and the technology to predict buying behavior in less than 90 seconds. So they know who their audience is, they can communicate effectively 100% of the time, close deals faster, increase sales, and finally understand why their relationships and the people in their life drive them crazy sometimes.
Ah, very nice. You did that in 28 seconds. So, that's admirable. Good job. That's interesting, though. You said that people are turning off 75% of their audience just in their normal kind of what they talk about each day.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. That's really interesting. And definitely worth paying attention to, I think, because if that's really the case, then you could really have a much bigger impact over the course of your entrepreneurial journey if you can figure out how to get tuned into that 75%. So, all right. Well, that takes us to the next little section here. I'm going to ask you 3 questions. You're going to give me 3 answers. They're each going to be 3 minutes or less. So, I'll try not to ask you about the meaning of life or anything like that. We'll just get into something manageable. So, the first one, why do you do what you do?
I do what I do because it impacts people's lives so much. Everything's about relationships. And if you're talking to another human being, we want to treat people the way they were meant to be treated, not how we assume that they should be treated. And the world is falling apart as far as communication goes and relationships. So I do what I do because to save my relationship with my oldest son and gave me the ability to spend the last year of my mom's life having the best relationship we ever had because people are misunderstood and people need to be seen, heard, and understood. And when they understand that it's not personal, it's personality, and how we can connect on a greater level, that's what makes the world a better place.
Okay. So that kind of makes sense as far as like why you're doing what you're doing, and then just to kind of get a little bit more detail, like what is it the service that you're providing? And I don't want to jump ahead of us on the other questions, but I think we can unpack a little bit like what it is that you're offering for entrepreneurs.
Coaching, training, and technology that shows people how someone's wired, what their core values are, how they can connect faster, and really understand what's important to the person sitting across from them.
Okay. All right. Perfect. I appreciate that little bit of clarification. It's coaching, training, and technology that can now help you to get more in tune with your audience, up to 75% of them even. Um, and I've participated in a workshop that you held a few weeks ago. Super valuable. Really neat to see how your process works, and I know we'll get into some more details there. So I appreciate you sharing that. All right, so here's the next question: what do you stand for?
Connecting and empowering humanity. Sales and relationships don't have to be hard, and they can impact the world on a much greater level if they just took the time to understand people.
All right. So, in your experience, then, what kind of impact have you seen that have? You know, when you start, have you seen someone who's gone from like really struggling to communicate and to reach people, and then what that looks like on the other side?
Yeah, I mean, I could tell you story after story. I'm going to tell you my own personal journey. I actually was in corporate for 28 years and the companies went bankrupt and I lost everything I owned. I had to sell everything and start over. And in the process, my friends lost their jobs too. So I was trying to build a company and I was struggling. And when I got introduced to this methodology and went through this coaching program, I was able to take that company from 0 to 2.2 million in less than 3 years and sell the company. I was also able to save the relationship with me and my oldest son, who had come home from college and really did not want to be around me. And it just came down to the fact that for 18 years, I was parenting the child I thought I had and not the child I actually had.
Interesting. Okay. So we're really getting into something that's deeper than just strictly entrepreneurship. We're talking about communication styles and methods and how people want to be communicated with, and how that ultimately then can affect how they respond to you. And so it manifests in a sales sense, and that's kind of the context here. But we're talking about something that really is about that human to human interaction you're talking about.
Well, correct. And what happens is by default, we show up expecting people to be just like us.
Mm.
So, what I love about something and how I communicate that message, it might not be the way that person needs to hear it. So, they're going to interpret it differently based on their core values and what's important to them. So, if you look at the different personality types, each one speaks a different language. So if you put it this way, have you ever been on a call where someone was talking and they sounded like the Peanuts teacher? It was like, wah, wah, wah,
Wonk,
wah.
wonk, wonk, wonk. Yep.
Like, I have no idea what they even just said. But
Yep.
somebody else could come on and start talking, and whatever it is, their energy, the words they used, their animation, whatever it was, caught your attention. You were like, oh, I like them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It just,
And that's because of that alignment with their style, to me receiving it in the way that it's compatible with the way my brain works.
well, correct, because you're having two like personality types
Mm-hmm.
align, and they're like, oh, you're my person. I like you.
Yeah. That's funny. I was just in a meeting before this where we were talking about that exact same thing, where you can have different people out there saying the same thing, but it's how they say it that can resonate with you or can turn you off.
Yep.
And in a pretty big way. So that's interesting. Okay, well, let's get into then our third one. Do you have a free gift that you are giving away to viewers today?
I do. So they can crack their code. It takes less than 90 seconds, and they'll get a free report all about them.
Okay. Now I can testify I've done this as part of that workshop. And, people, we all like to hear about ourselves, right? Like that's kind of a normal reaction. But this one's a little bit different because this isn't just strictly a personality test, and like what color are you or something like that. But when you say crack your code, that actually means something. That's not just like marketing speak. It's basically categorizing you as a person into one of four possibilities, or maybe a combination of these.
Actually,
And then, am I getting that right?
so actually, everybody's made up of all four.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah, it's just the position that they're in and how easily you can flow in and out of those different codes under different circumstances.
Right. And then in going through that practice, you not only identify how you like to be communicated with, but then it kind of opens your eyes to like, oh my goodness, everybody has this combination. And I need to be cognizant of what theirs is, and kind of how you can start to detect that. And that is kind of your whole platform, what you help coach people with, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there's a little built-in testimonial here. Like I've learned some of this and have seen the benefit in it. I think it's really cool what you do. So the best way to do that, Michelle, you gave this link here below. If you're watching this video, don't worry about trying to write that down. I'll just include the link inside the post in the community. But beyond that, what does this, when they click this link, what all does it do?
They're going to see four cards just like this, and they are going to drag and drop them in order of most like them to least like them.
Okay. And then what that does in return, once they've done that, it compiles a report and sends it to them?
Yes, and it will send them a report in a few seconds, and they'll get a report telling them even how they show up in stress.
Okay, interesting. And so if they get that, they like what they see, what do the next steps look like?
They can reach out, contact me anyway. I also have a free workshop every Tuesday from 2 to 3:30 Eastern time.
Okay, cool. And then within the first gen community, Michelle was kind enough to host a workshop a few weeks ago. So if you go under guides and recordings, you'll be able to see it listed there, and you can rewatch it. We dove deep in with it, and it was a lot of fun. So, well, Michelle, I appreciate you taking some time out of your day. Hopefully, this spotlight helps give people who watch it a better idea of who you are and what you do, and what they can do to kind of engage with you from here.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you, and thanks for having me. And I love First Gen.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Talk soon.
Bye.